So are you also writing the blog post manually? Then this video is definitely for you. So hello all, welcome back to Pabbly Connect, and in this video we are going to understand how to build an AI agent to auto schedule WordPress travel recaps. So over here I'm a travel content creator and I used to write blog posts manually like you. But now I've simply automated this process, and what I have done is that I add the details of my trip in a Google Sheet and automatically my AI agent generate the blog post for me. Further, I can post that blog on my WordPress account. So to do this, I've simply created an amazing connection between Google Sheets, my AI agent, which is OpenAI, and then WordPress. And to create this connection without knowing any programming or coding language, we are going to use Pabbly Connect. It is an amazing automation software. So if you also want to create this amazing automation for your own business, then for that you have to come with me towards my screen. Welcome to my screen. So in this video, I'm going to show you how I automate travel recap post on my WordPress blog using an AI agent. So I simply input the trip details like the destination, highlights, travel dates, and the trip name. And further, my AI agent automatically generates the content, and further we can post that content on our WordPress automatically. This saves me time and keep my travel blog consistent and engaging without any manual efforts. So let's get started, and to get started I'm just going to show you a really simple example. Let's say I'm just going to enter the trip name, the destination, the dates, and the highlights right over here. And after entering all of these details, what is going to happen is, using these same details, my AI agent is going to generate the content, and further using that content only, it is going to create a WordPress post. So I'm just going to open my WordPress account and go towards this post section, and I'm just going to simply refresh this post page right over here in order to check for the new post created. And yes, over here you can see a new post has been created related to the same travel. So I'm just going to go towards this view right over here, and as you can see, using the same details which we entered, a new post has been created right over here in my WordPress account related to this Jaisalmer details which we added right over here. And you can see the dates are also the same right over here which I mentioned in my spreadsheet. So as you can see, within seconds in real time, this post has been created without any manual efforts. I just simply entered the trip details in this Google Sheets, and this travel blog has been posted on my WordPress account. So if you also want to create this amazing automation and automate your travel posts, then you have to watch this video till the end. So to do this, we are simply going to open a new tab, and we are going to open the landing page of Pabbly Connect. And in order to open the landing page of Pabbly Connect, we have to search for pabbly.com/connect in my browser. So I'm just going to search for pabbly.com/connect, and now it is opening the landing page of Pabbly Connect. And after opening this landing page of Pabbly Connect, over here we are going to get two options. One is sign in and the another one is sign up for free. So if you are a new user, you can click on this sign up for free, and you are going to get 100 of tasks free every month to explore the application. But over here I am an existing user, so I'm simply going to click on this sign in, and as soon as we're going to click on this sign in, it is opening all Pabbly apps, and over here you can see all the tools and applications offered by Pabbly. But in today's video we are going to use Pabbly Connect because we are connecting different applications. So I'm simply going to click on this access now right over here to access my Pabbly Connects account, and as soon as we're going to click on this access now, it is opening my dashboard. And to start with this automation, we simply have to click on this button which says create workflow, and now over here it is asking me for the workflow name and the folder I want to save the workflow in. So over here on my dashboard you can see multiple folders which I have already created. So if you also want to create a new folder, you can go towards this create a new folder button and create your own. But I've already created multiple, so I'm just going to save my workflow in one of these only, which is automations. And now I'm just going to name my workflow as this: how to build an AI agent to auto schedule WordPress travel recaps. And then we are simply going to click on this button which says create. And now with this we have successfully created our workflow right right over here. And now this is the most important window of our automation. So this is the most important window because we have trigger and action in this. Trigger and actions are the two main principles on which our workflow is going to run. Trigger means when this happens and action means do this. So by this you can understand that the actions are response towards the commands given by our trigger, and that's the particular reason that we can have only a single trigger but multiple actions following the commands of our trigger. Alright, so to get started we are simply going to select our trigger application. So for my trigger application I'm simply going to select it as Google Sheets, because what I want is that as soon as I update my travel details right over here in my Google Sheets, automatically this workflow should get triggered. Alright, so that's why I've selected the trigger application as Google Sheets. And now for the trigger event we are simply going to select it as new or updated spreadsheet row. And now it is giving me a webhook URL. So we are going to use this same webhook URL in order to create a connection between our Google Sheets and our Pabbly Connects workflow. So what we're going to do is I'm simply going to copy this webhook URL, and then we have to follow this help text, and it is saying log in into your Google Sheets account, create a new spreadsheet, and then navigate to the extensions and then move on to add-ons option. Alright, so we're going to do the same. I'm just going to open my spreadsheet for which I want to create this automation. And after opening this spreadsheet, we have to go towards this extension add-ons and then towards this get add-ons. And after coming over here towards the get add-ons, we have to add an extension in this spreadsheet. So we are just going to search for the same, which is Pabbly Connect Webhooks. So I'm just going to search for Pabbly Connect Webhooks, and as you can see the same, so we are going to select it. And now it is saying installed right over here. So I have already installed this extension. That is the reason that it is giving me the option of uninstall. But if you haven't installed this extension, you are definitely going to get the option of install right over here. Alright, and now once you install this extension right from here, you have to refresh your spreadsheet. It is a really important step to refresh your spreadsheet, otherwise you'll not be able to get the Pabbly Connect Webhook option right over here in your extension tab. And after getting this Pabbly Connect Webhook option, what we have to do is we have to go towards this initial setup of this Pabbly Connect Webhooks. And after coming over here towards this initial setup, it is asking me for the webhook URL and the trigger column. So we are simply going to paste the webhook URL which we copied from our workflow, and now for the trigger column I'm simply going to enter my trigger column, which is D. So the trigger column will be your final data column, on which if the data is added, the whole of that row will be sent towards your webhook URL. So over here you can see the trigger column for me is D right over here, because what I want is that as soon as I add the trip details, destination, date and highlights, then only this flow should get triggered. Alright, so you have to enter your trigger column according to your own spreadsheet. And after entering both of this, we simply have to click on this button which says submit, and now you can see setup configured successfully. So with this we have successfully created a connection between our Google Sheets and our Pabbly Connects workflow. But now it is saying waiting for a webhook response, and in the notes it is saying do a test submission / record. So in order to capture this webhook response, we have to do a test submission or record. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to open my spreadsheet, and now from here we have to go towards this extension Pabbly Connect Webhooks, and we simply have to switch on this button which is send on event. So it is a really important step to switch on this button which is send on event, because upon switching on this button, what is going to happen is that whenever a new event is going to occur in the spreadsheet, automatically this workflow is going to get triggered. Alright, so now after switching on this button, what has happened is now we are ready to do the test submission. So I'm just going to enter the details right over here. I'm just going to enter the trip name, the destination, the dates, and now I'm just going to enter the highlights too. And yes, you can see that I've successfully entered all of these details. And now after entering all of these details, this test submission has been completed, and these details have been sent towards my workflow. And yes, over here you can see that Pabbly has captured the response for the same. Over here you can see the highlights, the destination, the dates, and the rest of the details. And yes, with this we have successfully completed our trigger step. And now what is going to happen is that whenever I add any detail right over here in my spreadsheet, automatically this workflow is going to get triggered. And now we're going to move on further. Now what I want is I want to build an AI agent to auto schedule WordPress travel recaps. So for my action application, I'm simply going to select it as my AI agent, which is OpenAI. So I'm simply going to search for OpenAI and select it right over here. And now for the action event, I'm simply going to select it as ChatGPT structured AI output. And then we simply have to click on this connect. And now it is asking me to add a new connection or select an existing connection. So if you have already connected your OpenAI account with your Pabbly Connects workflow, you can simply click on this select existing connection and then save. But if you haven't, you have to follow me, click on add a new connection, and now it is asking me for the token. And to get this token, we have to simply follow the help text, and it is saying kindly visit your OpenAI API key page to get the API key that you need to enter here. Alright, so I'm simply going to go towards this OpenAI API key page right from here. And after coming over here towards this OpenAI API key page, we have to go towards this create new secret key. And now it is asking me for the name of the key. So let's say I'm just going to name my key as Travel AI Agent. So I'm just going to name it as Travel AI Agent right over here. And now for the project, I'm just going to select the project and click on this create secret key. And now over here you can see that this is my API key. So I'm simply going to copy this key and then we're going to paste it right over here in our workflow. And yes, you can see that now we have successfully entered the token. And after entering this token, we are simply going to click on this button which says save. And with this, we have successfully connected our OpenAI account with our Pabbly Connects workflow. And now it's asking me to select the AI model. So over here, I'm just going to select my AI model as GPT-4o Mini only. If you wish, you can definitely select any another two. Now we're going to move on further. It is asking me to select the roles. So over here, for the role, I'm simply going to select it as user. If you wish, you can definitely select it as system or assistant too. Now we're going to move on further. It is asking me for the content user. And now for the content user, what we're going to do is I'm simply going to enter my prompt right over here. So over here, you must be wondering why I selected my action event as ChatGPT structured AI output. I should have also selected this ChatGPT, right? So what is going to happen is that I want blog title and content both. So that is the reason which I've selected this structured AI output. All right. So I'm just going to let you know the perfect reason why I selected this further in this video. Alright, so now after selecting this role, it is asking me for the content user. So now for the content user, what we're going to do is we simply have to enter the prompt which we are going to give to our AI agent. So yes, you can see that I've simply entered my prompt right over here. Write a long form engaging travel recap blog post based on the following details. So over here, I'm just going to give them the trip details, but I'm not going to enter the trip name and all the details manually like this, but instead we are going to map it. So you must be wondering what is mapping. So mapping is a method by Pabbly which means inserting the data from the previous step. And as you know, our previous step was the trigger step where we selected Google Sheets as our trigger application. So we are simply going to map the details from the response of our trigger application only, and as soon as we are going to map these details automatically, my details will turn dynamic and change with every new response received. Alright, so I'm simply going to map the trip name, then we're going to move on further and map the destination. So I'm simply going to map the destination. Now I'm just going to map the travel dates. So I'm just going to look for travel dates and map it. Now I'm just going to map the highlights right over here. And after mapping all of these details, we are going to move on further. Now you can see that I have customized this prompt according to my needs. You can enter this according to yours too. And now for the response format, I'm just going to give it the format. So what we have to do is we simply have to go towards this help text and we have to copy this format right from here. So I'm simply going to copy this format and paste it right over here. And now we have to enter the JSON schema. Alright, but first I'm just going to erase this your JSON schema right from here. And now I'm just going to enter my JSON schema right over here. And in order to generate this JSON schema, we have to open the OpenAI structured output page. So I'm just going to open it first. Alright, so to open this, you simply have to go towards this new tab and paste this URL, which is platform.openai.com/doc/guide/structured outputs. If you want this URL, I'm just going to attach it in the description box below. You can get this right from there too. And now with the help of this only, we are going to generate our JSON schema. So for that, we have to go towards this generate. And what I want to get from this prompt is that I want the blog title and the content. Alright, so I'm just going to give right over here. First, I want the blog title. So I'm just going to enter blog title. And what is the format of this title? It is type of a text. So I'm just going to enter type of text right over here. Now we're going to move on further. I'm just going to give the description, which is give me the blog title. Alright, and now after entering this, we are going to move on further. I'm just going to add a new line, and the next thing I want is blog content. So I'm just going to enter right over here blog content, and now once again I'm just going to keep it as type of text. Alright, right? And now for the description, I'm just going to keep it as give me blog content. And after entering this, we are simply going to click on this button which says create. And now it is going to create the JSON schema for the same, so we don't have to do anything. And over here it has created me the JSON schema. So I'm simply going to copy this schema and then we're going to paste it right over here in our workflow after this. All right, so I'm simply going to paste it right over here. And after pasting it, we are going to move downwards. All right, now it is asking me for the user, so if you wish you can definitely enter the same. It is asking me for the maximum tokens, so if you wish you can definitely enter the maximum number of token to generate the answer. All right, if you want you can definitely select the sample type and the rest of the details, but all of these details are not the required and I want to keep it as same only. So I'm simply going to click on this button which says save and send test request. You can get a more better and personalized response if you enter all of these details, but these are not required, so you can leave it as blank too. And you can simply click on this save and send test request like I did. And after clicking on this save and send test request, what is going to happen is that my AI agent is going to generate me the blog title and the content in two separate fields, so that we can map those differently further in our next action step, which is WordPress, right? If I would have selected ChatGPT right over here as my action event, then it would have not given me the content and the title in two separate fields. That's why I selected ChatGPT AI structured output. All right, so now we're going to wait for a few seconds till my AI is going to give me the title and the blog content. And now over here, my AI agent has given me the title and the content separately in two different fields. You can see the title right over here, and over here you can see the blog content. So yes, with this, my AI agent has successfully generated me the title and content. And now what we're going to do is I'm just going to map both of these details in the next action step. And now for that, I'm just going to add another action step and select my action application as WordPress. So I'm simply going to search for WordPress right over here, and as you can see the same, so we are simply going to select it. And now for the action event, I'm simply going to select it as create a post, and then we have to click on this connect. And now it is asking me to add a new connection or select an existing connection. So if you haven't connected your WordPress account, you have to go towards this add a new connection, and now I'm just going to tell you how to connect. But if you have already connected your WordPress account, you can go towards this select existing connection and then save. But if you haven't, you have to follow me. Over here we have to enter the WordPress username or email address and the password. So I'm just going to enter this first right over here. And now after entering both of this, it is asking me for the base URL. So it is saying, please provide your complete publicly accessible WordPress URL, including HTTPS, and exclude /VP admin or anything like that. All right. So what we have to do is I'm just going to open my WordPress account, and over here you can see that this is my WordPress URL. I'm simply going to copy it right from here, and then we're going to paste it right over here. But we only have to provide the base URL. So we have to erase all of this. We only have to provide the base URL, which is going to start from HTTPS and end at this. All right, so as you can see, I've successfully entered my base URL, and after entering this base URL, I'm simply going to click on this button which says save. You have to keep in mind that you also have to exclude this VP admin if written. It was not written in my case, so I've simply did the same. And now with this, we have successfully connected our WordPress account with our Pabbly Connects workflow. And now it is asking me to select the post type. So over here, I'm simply going to select the post type as post only right over here. Now we're going to move on further. It is asking me for the post title and the content. So we are simply going to map the details from the response of our OpenAI. I'm simply going to map the post title, and then we are going to simply map the post content to right over here. And yes, now after mapping both of this, we are going to move on further. Now it is asking me for many another details. So we are only going to fill in the details which are required, like the status. I'm just going to keep it as publish. If you wish, you can definitely draft this right over here, review it and publish it manually. But I want to publish it, so I'm simply going to keep it as publish only. If you wish, you can definitely schedule it for future also. Now we're going to move on further. It is asking me for many another details. So we are only going to fill in the details which are required. And now it is asking me for the featured media ID. So over here, it is going to ask me to select the image I want to add in this blog. But no, I don't want to add any image. So what we're going to do is I'm simply going to switch on this mapping button and erase this right from here. So now with this, I've simply left this field as blank too. All right. And after leaving this field as blank, we are going to move on further. Over here it is asking me to select the format, so I'm simply going to select it as standard only. It is asking me for the ping status, I'm just going to keep it as open. It is asking me for the comment status, I'm just going to keep it as open. It is asking me for the author ID, I'm just going to select the same. Over here it is asking me for many another details, I'm just going to keep all the details as same, not enter the details, because all of these are not the required details. Alright, and now I'm simply going to click on this save and send test request button given right over here to create my WordPress post. And yes, with this you can see that we have received a positive response that we have successfully created a WordPress post using this same title and content generated using our AI agent. So now I'm just going to open my WordPress and check for the post created. So I'm just going to open my WordPress account right from here. I'm just going to go towards the dashboard of my WordPress account, and now from the left side of the bar we are going to go towards this all post, and over here I'm just going to check for the new post created. And yes, over here you can see the new post has been created. Over here you can see with the same details which our AI agent generated. So yes, with this we have successfully completed this workflow, and now whenever I'm just going to enter the travel details right over here in my spreadsheet, automatically with the help of the same details a new WordPress post would be created, that too without any manual efforts. Like I showed you in the starting of this video, in real time within seconds the post would be created as soon as I add the details. Alright, so yes, with this we have successfully completed this workflow and this video too. Now go and try this amazing automation for your own business, and if you have any questions related to the video or the workflow, you can directly comment on this video. And for your reference, I'll just clone this workflow and share the workflow link in the description box so that you can access my workflow. I hope this video was helpful for you. Thank you for watching, everyone. So not only these applications, but with the help of Pabbly Connect, you can integrate many more applications. So if you have any doubts, you can reach us at support@pabbly.com. If you have any queries, you can reach us at forum.pabbly.com. And if you have any pricing related issues, you can follow this website. And if you find our videos helpful, do like and subscribe our channel. Thank you for watching.